Hello, all my favorite people. Today is a different kind of video that I really want to try and that people on my Instagram have said like, hey, we love to see things like this and it's fun for me to film, so I thought, why not? I'm going to do a little sewing vlog, so there are a few things that I want to do today and I'm going to walk you through it. And yeah, just explain you the process of how I make things, sewing, chatting, everything in between that. I hope you like this kind of videos, and yeah, let's dive into it. First, these are the things I'm going to do. So first, I made this wavy color blouse. I made this pattern before and I absolutely loved it, and it's my mom, her birthday, so I made this for her, but I need to do the buttons, and I have a fun hack with sewing on buttons and making buttonholes, so I'm going to show you that because that's the only thing I have to do with this blouse and then it's done. Last year in summer I made a pants with waves on the side, but the fabric I had was a vintage tablecloth, so it had that effect on the side, this on the side, and then it all had all the embroidery on it, so it was my absolute favorite piece I ever made, but it was a custom piece, so it was sold. So this was on the side, and I'm thinking of creating one of those loose fitted pants, but then make that detail myself from the fabric. I have this beautiful brown linen fabric where I want to try that with, because they are my absolute dream pants. And that are the only plans I have for today. Maybe if I have more time I do more, maybe not, but I don't want to tell you like 10 things I want to do and then end up doing only 2. So this is what I'm going to start with. I'm going to take you through the process. I still have the pattern of this pants to make this pants, but I do have to add the waves on the side, and I'm just going to show you how I do that and how I'm going to make those pants. I'm going to measure the placket and see how many buttons I want to do. Now I'm going to make the buttonholes and then attach the buttons to the blouse. These are different for sure, but I have a zipper foot that looks like this, and then you can change the button width here. Is you place the button in here, and then this is your button width, and on your machine you have a pull that goes between those two things, so that is the width of the buttonhole needed to have a button like this. But what I noticed in my machine, because I've been using it for a long time, that this almost always is too big in my preference. So what I will do is I undo the button and then click it inwards a few bits and then measure it from here, because this is not as accurate as I want it to be. And now I'm going to place this foot on my machine. There's a small little click here at the back of your foot. So this click, and then the foot just drops off. For the zipper foot, the thread needs to go through this hole. I'm going to attach it on that metal, and this goes on the back and this goes on the front. I get the thread and then pull it through that hole, and then I place the foot underneath I have to pick it up because otherwise it doesn't fit. Place it under it and it just automatically clicks on top of it, and now it's attached. Unlock this thingy that goes between those two marks I just told you about. Do you see how that goes down and then uses this as a guide to go through it? I have different options and all the different options, but I'm just going to go for 34. So I switch until I am there. And if I would have forgot to put this down as the guide for my button, then it does this. I can show you. So imagine me not doing that. It gives me an error. And then I know, oh, something is off. When I do this, then it doesn't do that. So that are for the settings. I'm not going to change the, maybe because it's with embroidery, I'm going to make the stitch length a bit longer, and the width is perfect like this. Start closer to here and then sew towards the edge. So I'm starting here and then sew towards the edge. If you don't know what your machine is going to do, then just test it out on a separate piece of paper. And my machine just does the buttonhole automatically. So I only have to press down my presser foot and I guide the fabric a little bit, but it does everything else for me. and then it stops and it's done. And now I have my first buttonhole. I'm not sure if you see it, but it looks really nice. Okay, now I have all the buttonholes, and a small tip for when you are cutting them open is get 2 pins at the end, because you don't want to ruin the buttonhole. Now you put all the time and effort into them. Make a pin right here, just before this part, when you are going to cut it open, or use your seam ripper that you can't accidentally slip through and then, yeah, make the whole thing open and loose. I'm just going to go in all the buttonholes, and then now I'm going to show you how to easily attach the buttons. On the buttons, I'm going to change my foot again. And I don't know if all machines have this foot, but if you have it and don't know where to use it for, it is for buttons, and it's amazing. It's this one. It has a little slide that goes down, and what you do is you get a button and you slide it. It is like a bit flexible, so you can slide the button in here and then lower this. The little slide and the 2 buttons are lined up, so you now have some room in between the stitching and the button, and this is going to be your foot. So I attach this to my machine. My settings to a zigzag stitch. So with the zigzag stitch, I can go in this one, and I always check it before I sew, and then it goes to the other side, and then it goes in that one. Oh, one very important thing, so you go to the zigzag stitch settings. Yeah, everything else is okay, but you have to undo your teeth at the bottom that get your fabric forward. I have a slide on the back of my machine, and then they go down, and now my fabric stays in place. So it will not be pulled towards me, but it will stay in place, and that way I can sew the button on the place that I want it to go. Underneath the fabric in the way you want it to. I want it to go like this, and then place it exactly on the spot where you want the button to be. I want it to be here, and now I'm just going to go like a lot of times in the zigzag stitch until I don't see the little pull thing anymore. And because there are so many stitches in one place, it automatically makes it secure and sit tightly. And then your button is attached like in, what was it, 2 seconds? Let's do another one and see how quick I am. So place the button here with the pinny where the button needs to go. Get it in place, undo the pin, and now just make a lot of stitches. Done. Next one. Going to show you one more time up close. Get the button, place it underneath the foot, so in here. Line the holes up with thingy in the middle of it. Go to your next pin, place it the way you want the button to go. Press the foot and just, oops, I forgot to undo the pin. And just kneel and then stop. And as you can see, the fabric and the blouse, everything stays in place because I lowered the teeth at the bottom of the machine, so it stays in place. Three buttons.